Hello. Hello. No. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. Hello. Alrighty. Alright. Maybe if I just stay bent over, I won't get anxiety talking to no one. Hello everybody, my name is Pumpkin, and I have been collecting anime figures actively for 2 years now. My first figure was a gift from my sister when she and her husband went to Japan on a business trip. She got it for me for my birthday, and I realized that it was something that I really wanted to get into. And this being my first video, I don't think I will showcase all my figures right now. I'm just gonna do the ones that I particularly really love or feel like deserve the attention, just to show people what kind of figures I'm into collecting, what kind of figures they can expect from this channel, stuff like that. I don't know, man. I just really wanted to be more involved. So I'll get into some of my collection, and then later on down the line, I have 3 boxes coming this month, and I typically get at least 2 orders every month. So I'll do a lot of unboxing videos, a lot of reviews, a lot of figure related things, and I hope to make a couple friends or something. I have no idea. Anyway, here they are.
Okay, so to start off, we are going to look at Kukulen Fate Grand Order Altered Berserker figure. This is a scale figure. He is the most beautiful thing I own. The base is the coolest thing I have ever seen. He is very heavy. I paid a lot. I pre-ordered him, but I think it was 100% worth it because this is by far the figure that makes me just go, wow, this is why I collect figures. There's not a part of him that I am disappointed with or upset about. The paint is perfect, and he just brings me a lot of joy. So I think he was worth all of the money that I paid for him. Sticking with the Fate Grand Order theme, next up we have the 1/8 scale of Ozymandias. I love this figure. I pre-ordered it as a birthday gift for myself way back when it first came out. I really wish I could get the matching Gilgamesh. I will one day, so look forward to that. But until then, he is more than enough for me. I think this figure really embodies him as a character. He is my favorite Fate character, and I think they executed this really well. The paint job, his armor, I love his toes. I remember when I first took this out of the box, I was so impressed with how they shaded his skin and all the little bits and parts that pop out of his clothing. I think this is a wonderful. This is one of my babies. He is one of my favorite characters from one of my favorite series, and no, I don't take criticism. This was the first scale figure that anyone had made of Gyu. I immediately pre-ordered it because the base reminded me of one of my other figures, and I was like, this is beautiful. It is part of the same series, so I was like, I'm gonna love it because I love that figure, and guess what? I do love it, so that's all that matters. I think his pose is a little weird on the rock, but they pulled it off in a way where once he's actually on display, you can't really tell that his legs are bent awkwardly. And this figure is Leo from Promare. I'm not the biggest Promare fan. I liked the movie, don't get me wrong. It was great. I like it a lot. But this figure specifically, the base was so interesting to me when I saw it up for pre-order. And because I enjoyed the movie and I really like Studio Trigger and everything they do, I was like, I'm gonna get it. The base alone, I cannot, with how beautiful and how actually that looks like they just took it out of the movie and put it into 3D. Leo himself has some very strange seam lines, but the way that it's painted, I think it makes up for it. It's not that big of a deal. He is very heavy. The entire figure is super nice quality. So we're back to another Gyu figure, a much less expensive one. This was a Bandai Spirits scale figure, I believe. It was only like $70, and for the price, it's really not that bad. The water looks a little strange in some places, and there you can definitely tell like where certain seams are, but I have it up on a shelf with like a ton of other Demon Slayer display items, and I think it looks super great. And I think, if anything, the things that matter about a figure are the face and how much alike it looks like the character, and I think they really nailed it on this one. So these two boys are a fever dream order. I'm not really familiar with their origin. They're from something called Suki Uta, I believe. I think it's an idol thing. I'm not really sure. All I really did was I saw two bunny boys. I saw them look very elegant, and I was like, why not add them to my collection? Because I love freeing, I love bunny boys, and they're cute, so why not? I'm happy with the figures. Do I regret spending $300 on them? I don't know, maybe. However, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have this other bunny boy. This is Kurose Riku from 10 Count. I love the story of that. I love this figure. I have a couple slight complaints about how they executed the face, but other than that, this is a bunny figure that I was happy to spend the amount of money that I spent on him. The folds in the clothing, like for such a quote unquote plain figure, I feel like they did a very good job at making it look fantastic. Alright, this figure is a character from Token Rambu, which is like a sword gacha game where the swords are actually boys. It's a really fun game. His name is Nagaki Ghitsune, and he is my favorite. This was the very first pre-owned figure I ever ordered, and it was unopened, so there's nothing wrong with it. I love him very much. I think it is a very nice figure, and honestly, my favorite male figures are always made by Orange Rogue, so I was extremely happy with the amount of detail on this figure for the price. Now we have the obligatory My Hero Academia figures. I'm not like a massive fan of the series, but it is really enjoyable. The characters are very lovable. I don't really have that many figures from them, but considering I had the Demon Slayer versions of this series of figures already, I figured why not go ahead and just get these ones as well. These are the RFXJ series, I believe. They're basic figures, but they're very heavy, they're very nice, and I can see very little flaws, if any, on any of the ones that I have from that series. The bases are typically the same regardless of which show they originate from, but the detail on the figures themselves are phenomenal, and I think they were really good for the price that they retailed at. This figure, I really like Fire Force as a show. He is not my favorite character. They do not have figures of my favorite character. If they did, I would rather have him, but the base really sold me on this one, and the fact that it like glows in the dark. Very cool figure, very fun. I am not a fan of the face, but all of that aside, I feel like it was a really nice addition to kind of add some more fun to the collection. Okay, so now we're getting into my boy. I do have a Kawaru collection. He is my favorite Evangelion character. I have a very soft spot for him. I've loved him ever since I was a child. This figure, however, does not like sitting on its rock. This is the Evangelion Shin Gekijoban Kawaru 1/6 plug suit version by Kotobukiya. It does not like sitting on its rock. If I were to ever break a figure, it would be this one, and I would not have to touch it. But I do like the way that it looks, and I think the pose is nice. This figure is by far the figure that really got me set into collecting figures. As soon as I saw this, I knew it was an instant pre-order. I waited a extremely long time to get this. This is one of my favorite. I love everything about this figure, from the way that his spear makes a ripple in the blood, to how he is standing, to the way that he's posed. It is very Kawaru. Like, the wings are beautiful, they're translucent towards the bottom, and there's sparkles and like a metallic gleam across his entire plug suit. I think this is by far the figure that brings me the most joy based on who it is in my entire collection. If I were to recommend any series to collectors, the Gem series is fantastic. They have never let me down. And can we just talk about how cute his face looks? Like, oh my god, perfection. He's just perfection. These two prize figures were gifts from my family. One of my little sisters got me one for Christmas, and my mom got me the other one. They love me a lot. I believe Shin Seiki Evangelion Kwaru is the one with the coat. The other one, I think, is just a random Sega prize figure. But I love them both, and for prize figures, they could not be better. Before I get into even more scale figures, I just wanted to take a moment to talk about how cute this tiny little figure collection is. It's called the Look Up series by Mega House, and I have a ton more already on pre-order. I am thrilled with this series. You can move their heads around, you can have them on your computer desk while you play games, and they just look at you. It's adorable. Highly recommend this series. And we're getting into some of the female scale figures now. This is the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Anzu. She is my favorite character from Idolmaster. This was the figure that started it all. This is the figure my sister brought back to me from Japan, and the figure that made me fall in love with figures. She's so dainty and delicate. It's just so perfect for what it is, and since I love the character, it really meant a lot to me that she did that for me. Not only that, but that was the first time that anyone from my family actually acknowledged that my passion was a passion that was going to stay with me through my childhood. This is the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls on Zufudaba 1/7 scale fairy version by Alter from, oh wait, I forgot to say the name, Namakimono, which is like their performance outfits. The details on this figure are beautiful. I am in love with this figure. This was the first scale figure that I pre-ordered ever, and I still love her a ton to this day. Very happy with this figure. These two figures were two pre-owned figures that I got for an extremely amazing deal on AmiAmi. I don't know how I was so blessed to get these two scale figures for literally like $45. I love Monster Girls. I think these are from like a chocolate collab thing. I have no idea, but they are gorgeous, and I've actually, before I saw them on the pre-owned section, I was looking into figuring out where to get them anyway, so I feel like luck was just on my side that day, and I nabbed them up. One has a little bit of discoloring, but other than that, it's totally fine. This is a Killua figure. Killua is very precious to my heart. He as a character means a lot to me. I don't think I can put it into words. However, Hunter x Hunter merch is extremely limited, and most of the small amount of figures that they ever made look awful, like absolutely terrible. This was the only one that I ever wanted. I bought him secondhand off of Yahoo Auctions for a crazy amount of money, like way more than a prize figure was worth, but to me it was totally worth it. I am in love with him and this figure. This is the last scale figure I'll be covering in this video. This is my favorite character from No Game No Life, Izuna. She is adorable. Everything about her character and her personality I really enjoy. If you haven't seen the show, I recommend seeing the show because she is so lovable. This figure is painted to perfection. I'm not a huge fan of the pose, but the paint job on her hair and the way that they did the colors justice from the show, I'm sure it comes as no surprise to anybody who knows anything about figures, because I feel like the No Game No Life figures always knock the paint job out of the park. The gradient is flawless. She comes with two extra like tiny, I don't really like, would you call those like chibi figures? I'm not really sure, but it's Ino and Miko, and it's just overall a very gorgeous, very lovely figure, and the base is just a plain flat circle, but it's checkerboarded. It's very fun, very fitting to the theme of the show. Also, I would like to add in that I am elated to announce that I do not have to worry about bending over time on this figure. That is the one thing I do like about this pose. Now that we're getting towards the end of the video, I'm just going to do some general overviews of some of my Nindroid collections. I keep the more detailed ones in detolfs, and I have a lot more just around everywhere, like on shelves and whatnot. But the detailed ones tend to stay in the detolf because I don't want to lose any of the pieces. I feel like older Nindroids came with a lot less things than the newer ones, because Gilgamesh and Ozzy, they come with like so many tiny little baby pieces. Like the Promare ones, every single little piece you see on them can fall off, and it's very anxiety inducing, so they just stay there. Like you just stay there. I don't want to harm you. But anyway, if you made it through this video, if you enjoyed this video, I really appreciated it. I've had a lot of encouragement from my friends and really important people in my life to pursue doing this. I feel really nice now that I've done it. It was very stressful, but it's a nice way to be creative and not just sit in a pile of depression. So please enjoy the rest of the video of little cute baby Nindroids just staring at you having a nice time. Enjoyed my video, and I hope you come back for some of my other videos, because I really think I'm gonna keep doing this. Thank you so much. Even if you didn't enjoy it, thank you for watching. Goodbye.